psychologists in this audience, could you please help me understand how people this stupid even exist? Because I don't even know how they can function in the world. How do people this stupid dress themselves? How do they figure out how to procure for themselves food to keep them alive? How can you be this stupid and not be dead from something? How did you not somehow manage to walk into traffic and get hit by a bus? How is it that people this stupid can even make it to adulthood? I want to know.
Beyond betrayed. They used us during the campaign. The elected officials from the Republican Party, they actually told us that he was not going to touch the documented people.
15 states that most rely on federal funding for its public schools all voted for Trump.
I voted for President Trump.
You didn't vote for Trump eliminating federal funds.
No, I did not vote for that. I voted for President Trump to make America first again. I do not think that's what the voters want. It's devastating.
Well, y'all, I never thought I'd say it, but I'm gonna say it. I regret voting for Donald J. Trump. I regret it. I regret it.
Yeah, we voted for Trump because he promised while he was campaigning like a million times that when he got into office he was going to bring down prices, bring down grocery prices. The inflation has been high ever since COVID, and he promised he would bring that down, but it's obvious to me now that that was not true. Egg prices have skyrocketed. The bird flu is killing all the birds, and he doesn't seem to be doing anything about that. He's stopping disease communications from the disease centers in America, pulled us out of the WHO. Like, how does that help anything? And yeah, all he's been doing is taking away rights and freedoms, or trying to. He's not doing anything about the economy. So yeah, we totally regret our vote at this point. We've had a really tough time here in North Carolina. Half of my house got washed away in Hurricane Helene, and I applied for FEMA assistance, and we got approved. But now Trump is canceling FEMA and emergency assistance to people. He's also canceled Medicaid for my children. I know they said they put a halt on his freezing of the funds, but the Medicaid portal is still not working, so we can't access anything for our children's health insurance.
Hello guys, and welcome to the Jimmy Report. Once again, it's Funko season, and Maga voters are finding out the hard way what it means to support someone who never had their best interests at heart. They cheered, they waved their flags, and they said Trump is our guy. But now, reality is setting in. Their votes have come back to bite them, and they're starting to regret ever stepping into that voting booth for Trump. If this is the kind of videos that you enjoy, please consider subscribing, liking and commenting, because it helps you to be recommended to a wider audience. And now, without further ado guys, let's go straight into this video. But first, let me play you a few clips on this matter, and I'll come back with my commentary.
Red states FA'd, now they're about to FO. 72 million Americans depend on Medicaid, many of which are children and the elderly. Now, to fund his tax cuts for the wealthiest Americans, he is now asking his cult members in Congress to cut $880 billion out of Medicaid. You probably won't be surprised to know that the highest number of Medicaid recipients typically come from red states. So let's take a look at the red states that are going to be impacted highest by Medicaid cuts. Those who will be impacted the highest include Louisiana, West Virginia, and Kentucky. The next group that will be highly impacted include Mississippi, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Alaska. The Medicaid recipients in these states, if Donald Trump and the Republican Party have their way, could see their benefits cut in half. FA-FO.
So, MAGA women are in the find out stage right now because they're finding out that MAGA men basically use them for their anti-abortion sentiments and their hate against other women to get the bills passed they needed to, remain in that MAGA man power, misogynistic type of mindset. And now they're saying, hey, you guys did your part, but now we want you out because women shouldn't be in leadership.
about feminism, right, and how bad it is and whatnot, MAGA women have dug themselves a fucking grave because now they used you. They used you. They used you to push this anti-feministic, anti-abortion, anti-women, right, rhetoric, and now they want you out. So feminism got you the role, right, that you used to just completely demolish your own self, right? So now go back in the kitchen and go make your husband some food.
Thought he was going to be good for the Palestinians? He wants Israel to wipe them out? How stupid do you have to be? And how stupid must the people who go to you for a mortgage be? Oh my God. Anyway, yes, moron, you did vote for this. Nothing this man said could be trusted. Nothing. This was a man that was desperate to stay out of prison. He would tell anyone anything if he thought he could get their vote. So, yes, Melanie, the mortgage chick, you did vote for this. Anyway, back to her stupid post. I did not vote for this. Neither did anyone else I know. Well, if they voted for Trump, then they voted for this. The lack of humanity, decency, respect has made me regret my vote. Are you fucking kidding me right now? The lack of humanity, decency, and respect has made you regret your vote. Why? Because he put up that stupid video? That's what made you be upset about his lack of humanity, decency, and respect? The fact that he raped a woman? You didn't care about that? The fact that he incited a violent mob to attack the Capitol and beat police officers nearly to death? You had no problem with that? That didn't make you question his humanity, his decency, or his respect? What is wrong with you, Melanie, the mortgage chick? How stupid? We're 10 years into this. We're 10 years into this man being in our lives on the national political scene. And only now, once he puts a stupid video, an AI video, that's what it took? An AI video, that's what it took. None of the rest of it made this woman question his humanity, decency, or respect. My God, we're surrounded by fucking idiots. Anyways, let's continue here. We did not vote for you to take a graveyard and turn it into an adult playground. It was to stop the killing and to stop sending Israel our hard-earned money again, moron. This is the guy who told Israel to wipe out the Palestinians. Oh my... Just to listen to these idiots say this stuff now after they voted for him. Oh my goodness. All right, let's continue. Not to make a mockery of people who are still not even buried yet. Even at war, we allow people the right to bury their dead with dignity, especially when we know that most were not holding guns, shooting at our allies. In the context of this video, your presidency is supposed to be a legacy, and this video will forever shadow it. Are you... How do people write this kind of crap? Does this woman not know how stupid she sounds? So January 6th won't shadow his legacy, but this stupid video that he posted to Truth Social, that's what's gonna destroy his legacy? The video. Like a 90-second video that he posted on Truth Social. Not beating police officers nearly to death in an attempt to illegally stay in power to overthrow the Republic. Not that! The stupid video. That's what's gonna damage his legacy. Oh my... Anyway, what else did this moron write? Instead of being remembered 100 years from now as one of the greatest presidents, history is going to dictate whatever. So this idiot, up until the video, she thought Donald Trump would be remembered as one of the greatest presidents. But because he posted this video, that's where she draws the line. In that one moment of him posting that video, he went from greatest president to whatever the hell she thinks he is now. And apparently it's not too good because she seems pretty angry in her little post there.
I've already appealed. I'm gonna fight for my job back. I took an oath of office to fight for this administration.
So go watch the full video. I'm tagging the creator below who created that stench. Definitely worth a look. Long story short, that is a Trump supporter, Trump voter, who is also a federal employee who now has no job because of the person that she voted for. And I just wanted to hit on this misconception that this young woman apparently has. She says, I took an oath to defend this administration. specific to an administration. The oath that you took was to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States. That's your federal oath. The fact that and I'm sure she does, absolutely believes that she has sworn fealty to this administration is a fucking problem. And yeah, it's hard to feel sorry for that. Or, on the other hand, did she recently swear some new oath to the administration? Because I haven't heard about that. That would be an even bigger problem.
As you heard, many MAGA supporters were all in on Trump's tough stance on immigration. Build the wall, they say. They wanted stricter immigration policies, deportations, and tougher border control. But what they didn't expect was that those same policies would turn on them. Take the case of Latinos who supported Trump, thinking his harsh immigration stance wouldn't affect them. They believed they were on the right side of his policies until he revoked TPS for Venezuelans and other immigrant groups, leaving thousands at risk of deportation. Now they are panicking, realizing that supporting Trump didn't make them immune to his policies. And it's not just Latinos. Asians and Arabs have also been caught in the line of fire. Trump's policies were never about fairness. They were about exclusion. And now, some of his own supporters are feeling the consequences. When it comes to education, one of Trump's biggest moves has been slashing federal funding for education. He pushed for eliminating the Department of Education altogether, arguing that states should handle schooling on their own. MAGA supporters thought this is a good thing until they realized what that actually meant for their communities. Public schools in rural, predominantly white areas rely heavily on federal funding, and without that money, schools are struggling to keep teachers, offer essential programs, or even maintain school buildings. Parents who supported Trump are now outraged that their children are losing resources. But this is exactly what they wanted. Suddenly, the dream of a better future isn't so bright for their kids. Trump's decision to pull the U.S. out of the World Health Organization is another moment that MAGA supporters cheered for. They believe that WHO was corrupt and sided with China too much, but now they're realizing just how bad that decision was. With the U.S. no longer a part of the WHO's Global Health Initiative, Americans are missing out on critical health programs, pandemic preparedness, and vaccine research. When the next health crisis hits, the U.S. won't have the same level of international cooperation. And guess what? Rural hospitals, where many MAGA voters live, depend on WHO-supported programs for things like disease tracking and emergency response. FEMA has also been a lifeline for communities hit by natural disasters, from hurricanes to tornadoes to wildfires. FEMA provides immediate relief to those who need it most, but Trump's policies have weakened FEMA's ability to respond effectively. Many of these same people who once dismissed government assistance as handouts are now begging for federal aid. One of the biggest betrayals that MAGA voters are facing is Trump's attack on Medicaid. He has long wanted to put a stop to government-funded healthcare programs, cutting funding and introducing work requirements that make it harder for people to qualify. Many Trump supporters believe this would only affect quote-unquote lazy people or those in blue states. But guess what? It's hitting them just as hard. A large number of working-class white Americans depend on Medicaid, especially in states where wages are low and healthcare is expensive. Many elderly Trump supporters who rely on Medicaid for nursing home care are finding out that funding cuts mean fewer services and longer wait times. The very people who voted to stop socialism are now complaining that they can't afford medical care. And rural hospitals, many of which serve Trump-supported communities, are struggling because they relied on Medicaid reimbursements to stay afloat. And now, some of these voters have to drive hours just to see a doctor. But again, this is exactly what they voted for. For years, Trump supporters have dismissed warnings about the consequences of his policies. They thought the pain would only fall on immigrants, urban communities, and people they didn't care about. But FAFO season is here, and the reality is setting in. Trump's policies don't discriminate. They hurt everyone, including his own base. And now, MAGA voters are realizing they were never special. They were just useful pawns in Trump's game. The man who promised to fight for them has left them struggling. No safety nets, no healthcare, no disaster relief, and no future for their kids. And as they cry out for help, the rest of us can only shake our heads and say, you effed around, and now it's finding out. So let me know what you think about this. Please leave your comments down on on the comment section below. I would love to keep the discussion going. I have another video on Cubans for Trump and their regret after voting for him. And so if you enjoy such kind of videos, please click up here and enjoy it. Otherwise, that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. And until the next time, the Joy Report out.
Alright, so we are having a meltdown. People are wondering how someone could literally vote against their best interest at hand. That's basically what people are asking in this video. Because you're looking at the red state, most of them are majority are farmers. Farmers, they decided, you know what, they're gonna vote for the current administration, and now they're crying, they're freaking out, they're asking for help, and people are looking at them wondering, I mean, I'm not understanding this question. As in, you're a farmer, you know how to calculate when to harvest, when to plant, when to spray the crops. You calculate how you're going to pay your mortgage. You calculate how you're going to pay your workers. As in, literally, you have all this knowledge, and somehow you decided that one day you're going to wake up and you're going to vote for somebody who is against your best interest at heart. And right now you're realizing you made a mistake, and you're crying and you're asking for help from other Americans. So that's what people are asking. They're not getting that point. So this video is like, okay, so the Maga people, they're crying, they're asking for help, they're regretting their vote. So what do they expect people to do? Because the die has already been cast. The vote has already been casted. People have voted, the votes were counted, and they already elected the president. So why are you crying? Why are you freaking out? The policies have already implemented. The first 100 days, when the current administration came into power, they put down these policies, and now they're being implemented. There's the Medicaid, which has already been, touched, and of course they've done some budget cuts over there. People have lost jobs under the US aid, under the DAI. Women have been affected under the new abortion laws. We are looking at the teachers for Trump right now. They are literally saying, oh, this is what they voted for, because they were expecting, you know, Trump to make America great. They did not expect him to defund the education system. So basically, when you look at everything that they're saying right now, the Maga people, you're like wondering what really happened. Is it that they did not read the information? Is it that they had this concept in their mind of what really the current administration is going to do? When they had when people say the current administration is going to, you know, to create chaos, they're going to do mass immigration, they're going to literally touch everything down, they're going to touch the pillars of America and bring everything down. What were they thinking? What was going on in their minds? So you see somebody has recorded himself online, and they say, oh, I wish I didn't vote the way I did, because right now I'm affected. Oh, I've lost my job. Oh, I've lost my farm. Oh, right now, oh, my Medicaid has been affected, so I don't have any health insurance. So you're like wondering, okay, so what happened? What happened? Is it that for the longest time, when people were screaming and telling you guys, you know what, don't vote the current administration in because you're going to suffer? Was it that people were putting cotton inside their ears? Were they burying their head in the sand? Is it that people were not making any noise? Was it that people were just creating, you know, talking like blah 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 blah, not making any sense? Because right now you look at somebody say, oh, I'm affected right now, or my family is affected, or one of my close neighbors is affected, and this is not expected, or this is not I wanted. You are hearing all these songs and you're wondering what really happened. Was it that the information was not correct? What is it exactly that I thought is going to happen? Is it they expected the other communities to be affected and not them directly? One thing you realize, when the government put a policy in place, it doesn't matter whether they're white, blue, green, it's going to affect everybody across the state. If they are targeting let's just take for example the mass deportation that's happening, the Latino community has been affected, the Asian community has been affected, because a huge number of them are coming from they're coming from that community. And now you look at them and they're complaining, they're regretting, they're saying, oh, this is what I voted for. I voted for make American great again, but this is not I voted. I did not expect my family to be affected. I did not expect my spouse to be affected. I did not expect, in other words, they expected it to affect other communities, but not them or you. That's what it means. So I hope this is a lesson. I hope this is something which people can learn from it, and come the next election they do research and they choose someone who has their best interest at heart. Let me know what you think about this video. Drop your comments and please subscribe to my channel.